Jen, how do you feel about pedophiles?
I love pedophiles.
Hey.
Y'all don't even know. I want to give a shout out to my follower for sending me some information on something called pedosexual, P-E-D-O-sexual. What that is it's pedophiles trying to get their sexuality recognized as normal. They want to be mixed in with the LGQBT or LB, whatever it is. They want to be a part of that, saying that our sexuality is normal. Me, a 45-year-old man, it's normal for me to be attracted to a fucking 1-year-old. And what breaks my heart is I go online and people are backing this shit. There are people backing this shit. There are people saying I'm so comfortable that we are acknowledged now that I can come out and claim my attraction for young children. I will fuck you up. As you're not normal. I don't care what your mama said. Nigga, you're not normal. You're 42 and want to fuck a 3-year-old. You're not normal. Do your research, people. They're already trying to pass laws for this. Do your research. Our children.
Talk show host Glenn Beck has said that America is on its way to normalizing pedophilia based on the way transgender rights have changed in the country's culture.
I guarantee you, the next stop on this train is pedophilia.
Beck predicted that Hollywood will soon try to normalize pedophilia based on claims from actor Elijah Wood that child sex abuse is commonplace in the entertainment industry. Beck's comments were in response to Pennsylvania theme park Hershey Park's statement that guests could use whichever restroom corresponds to their gender identity. The bathroom issue became a topic of national discussion after North Carolina passed a law requiring people to use restrooms in government buildings based on the sex shown on their birth certificate. In response, President Obama later urged schools to allow students to use the bathroom that corresponds to their gender identity. For Newsy, I'm Jay Struber.
Legalizing sexual child abuse, yes, pedophilia, is now classified as a sexual orientation. Yes, hard to believe. Truth and Action News is reporting the unthinkable. They write that this would seem to be the very first step in tolerating the sodomizing of children. Pedophilia is now officially classified as a sexual orientation under the politically correct term minor attracted person. Apparently,
a congressional candidate from the state of Virginia has openly admitted that he was running websites that supported the notion of legalizing pedophilia, raping wives, and all sorts of things that you wouldn't imagine someone would publicly support. His name is Nathan Larson, and I am going to give you some of the details of what he included, what he himself contributed to these websites. When asked whether he's a pedophile or just writes about pedophilia, he said, quote, "It's a mix of both. When people go over the top, there's a grain of truth to what they say."
I want to warn you about this next story because a Northern Virginia candidate running for Congress has some shocking, dangerous, and downright disturbing views about children and women. Nathan Larson is an accountant who lives in Fauquier County.
This is hard to read and certainly hard to hear. He admittedly thinks it's okay for adults to have sex with children. He even wants to make it legal. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Peggy Fox is in Catlett, Virginia tonight, and she spoke to him.
Normally, we don't give people with abhorrent beliefs a platform in which to share those ideas. But this man is running for Congress, and as much as I personally hate to put this man on TV, we believe it's important for people to know why he's running for Congress. Nathan Larson told me he wants to, quote, restore liberty and make incest legal.
What about sexual relations with your own children?
Like, I would favor, like, legalizing incest.
Why is that?
just because personal freedom.
What about the children's rights? Wouldn't that be rape to have sex with a child?
Well, like with girls, I mean, I just believe that it should be for fathers to make those decisions.
And you don't find anything wrong with that?
I mean, it's not for me to intrude on another family and tell them what they should do.
Wouldn't that be really dangerous for children?
I don't see how we know that. Like,
children are human beings. They're not property. What about their protection?
Oh, the law doesn't treat them as having the full rights of adults.
Nathan Larson also told me he doesn't think wives should be allowed to accuse their husbands of rape. Now,
so a lot of people online are wondering why, according to Hunter Biden's electronic devices, Joe Biden's family refers to him as Pedo Peter. It's kind of weird. Why would they call a guy who showers with his own daughter Pedo Peter? We have no idea. Then we saw these pictures. They showed Joe Biden kissing his own granddaughter on the lips multiple times. In February of 2020, Joe Biden was speaking at a campaign event in Iowa. He said his daughter told him not to kiss her in public. Then he said his granddaughter is, quote, different.
But granddaughters not only love their dads, their grandpops, they always like them, and that's the great thing. Thank you, baby. Thanks.
Yeah, so it's totally normal. Sharing with your daughter is totally normal. But there is a reason the FBI wants to get its hands on Joe Biden's daughter's diary very badly and is willing to arrest people in order to keep that from becoming public. We'll let you continue to guess.
Keeping them honest tonight, potentially hundreds of military employees and contractors who may have bought child pornography online but haven't been prosecuted or even in some cases investigated. That's right, you heard me, child pornography. As many as 1,700 names, according to a U.S. Senator, on a list of 5,200 from an internet sting operation overlooked the first time around 4 years ago. Only now are they
Christ also called the Pharisees adulterers, an adulterous generation. The Talmud provides generous loopholes for adultery. It says the penalty for adultery does not include sex with a minor, the wife of a minor, or the wife of a heathen. The Talmud also encourages seduction of unwed adolescent girls called designated bondmaids. But it's important how such rapes are performed. With the designated bondmaid, one is guilty only in the case of natural connection, but not in the case of perverse connection. The Pharisees reasoned that rape in a perverted manner is outside the jurisdiction of the law. Normal rape, however, was punishable. In Babylon, sexual perversion of every kind had been a way of life for millenniums. The Pharisees were deeply influenced by such practices.
This is of the Talmud. Are found extensive passages which give legal endorsement to seduce and marry 3-year-old baby girls. In fact, many of the greatest rabbis of the Talmud, including Simeon ben Yochai, upheld this privilege. Today in Israel, thousands of Jews go to Meron every year to venerate the memory of Simeon ben Yochai, one of the most respected rabbis in the history of Judaism.
In one of dozens of endorsements of child sex, Simeon ben Yochai said, "A proselyte under the age of 3 years and a day is permitted to marry a priest." Agreeing with ben Yochai, the great Rabbah said, "When a grown-up man has intercourse with a little girl, it is nothing, for when the girl is less than this, 3 years and a day, it is as if one put the finger into the eye." The footnote to this passage says, "As tears come to the eye again and again." That sexual activity with small boys is in the same category. The intercourse of a small boy is not regarded as a sexual act.